Well, hello there, folks. How's it going today? I hope everybody's doing really good. Today, I'd like to talk about pickups for a minute. I'd like to go over some of the different styles and what all the wires mean, all that fun stuff, okay? The first thing I'd like to do, though, is show you how to measure the resistance in your pickups. That can be achieved with just a simple multimeter that you can get at any tool store, online. I mean, under $10. Works pretty good. So, anyway, the first thing I'd like to show you is how to measure the resistance in your pickups while they're still in your guitar, okay? So let's do that first, and then we'll come back to this. Alrighty, so we got this little Les Paul Jr. copy out here. It's got one humbucker in it, one volume, and a tone, okay? We got a cord plugged into it, and this is how you do it. These have probes on them, these multimeters, and you can do it with probes. You could hold one probe on and touch the other one. I like to use these little jumper cables. It's a lot easier to do it on film, obviously, so one needs to be clamped around the barrel of the cord, and the other one needs to go right on the tip itself. Now there's a line here that separates them, okay? So keep that in mind. And the next thing we're going to do, I have my meter set to ohms on the lowest setting. This is a Centec. I got this at Harbor Freight. It's good enough, you know what I mean? There's better ones out there, but this is pretty inexpensive, and it does the job. Okay, so now that everything's stopped moving around, what we're going to do is just turn our volume up, and you can see that is 11.6364-ish ohms of resistance, okay? So that's a pretty hot pickup, really. Humbuckers should run, I've seen them in the high 8s, 9s, 10s. I've even seen them over 15, up to 17, and those are really hot. Now, the hotter you get, the darker the sound's going to be. They're going to have a lot of output, though, as well. And that can make your amp react different. There's all kinds of little ins and outs that these things can do depending on how much resistance. So that's how you test it in your guitar. Now I'll show you how to test it with a guitar with more than one pickup. Okay, so we got a Strat here, and all I did was just plug the same cord in. The clips are hooked on the same way. I haven't touched anything. So we're on the selector switches on the back pickup of the bridge. So let's turn the volume up. See what we got. 6.5758. That's pretty hot. Pretty good pickup. It does sound real nice too. So now if we click this 5-way switch to the next position, now it's both pickups. So there's less resistance. That's what's going on here. Okay, so on the bridge, it's 6.57. With the middle and bridge together, there's less resistance, so it's down to 3.21. If we go to the middle pickup, that's on its own. Middle position, that's 6.09. That's also pretty warm, too. Explains a lot about the guitar and the tone. Okay, so now we have the middle and neck together. Again, less resistance, 3.11. And we have the neck pickup on its own, which is 6.15. So the neck on its own, 6.1. The middle on its own is 6.09. And the back one on its own is 6.57. That's a pretty tight set of pickups, in my opinion. And this guitar sounds really nice. So that being said, this is a good thing to do. If you find a guitar that you really love the sound of, let's say this is it right here. This is a good thing. Take these readings, write them down, start keeping a book, especially if you have multiple guitars. Because you're going to forget these readings along the way, and all of a sudden you might pick up one of your other guitars and say, wow, I really like the neck pickup better on this one, but I like the middle and bridge on this one better. And this gives you some sort of a baseline to at least know what the resistance is in your pickups. So that's how you test pickups in your guitar with a switch. I also have the David Gilmour mod to this guitar, which when the switch is in the back, on the back pickup alone, when I flip this toggle switch, it actually engages the front pickup with it. And a normal 5-way switch will never give you that combination. So I added this, and it's only in the back position. When you snap it off, it just goes back to this pickup on its own. When I engage the switch, now it engages this pickup with the back one. Really cool sound, and it was a cheap mod. I mean, the toggle switch is less than $1, so it just gives you a you have 5 sounds with a 5-way. This just gives you one more sound. It's another combination. Really cool mod, really easy to do. Anyway, guys, let's go back to the pickups that are out of the guitars, and I'll show you how to test those and what some of the wiring combinations are like and how to approach it, okay? Here we go. Okie doke, folks, here we go. Now, this is how you would test pickups that are not in your guitar. So let's get the multimeter back out. And I get my probes out. My alligator clips, I should say. Your multimeter will have probes on it. I just use these to clamp them on. It's easier to do on camera, and I don't have to hold them the whole time. So this pickup has 2 wires on it, okay? And all you do is clamp them on. It doesn't matter which way you go. And we're looking at about 8. That's what it's settled out at. This is an Epiphone USA dog ear P90. So a little higher output than a Stratocaster pickup. This is still a single coil pickup. It's just a wider coil instead of the narrow single coil, okay? So that's the difference with a P90 and single coils. This isn't a humbucker, it's just a big single coil with a wide coil in it. They sound really nice though. They have a unique thing. So that's how you test one that's out of your guitar. I'm actually going to test the other one while I've got it out right now, because these are nice and weathered and kind of nasty looking, and I'm going to put them in that Les Paul Jr. that I just showed you here a few minutes ago, the black one that's all beat up. Okay. Wow, that one is 8. I think it's going to settle right out at 8 again. Wow, they're identical. Okay, so that's kind of rare, I guess. You don't just usually hit the mark like that, It depends on how many wraps of wire there are in the coil. So that really determines the strength and the magnet strength as well. Okay, so let's talk about 4-wire pickups a little bit. Now here I have, this is a bare knuckle pickup. This is hand wired in the UK. Now this is a 4-wire pickup. And what that means, it has a black, a bare wire, a red wire, then it has a white and a green, okay? Looks kind of like this. Now you can see the green and white wire, they're taped together, and that's so it just stays as a humbucker, okay? You can't split it, which means you could run one and or the other or both. So you can split these and use it as a single coil and a humbucker, okay? So what you do is, I'm just going to check the output of this. So I'm just going to hook onto the black wire and the bare wire, and these two are wired together. So this is going to be a humbucker reading, and wowzer, 15.52 ohms of resistance. That one's hot. That's got a lot of wraps in it. That's what makes the resistance, is the amount of wraps, of course. So that's what we're measuring here. That's a hot pickup right there. No question about it. Now, if you wanted to split this pickup, I'll show you how to do that right here. Let's take another, let me find another 4-wire pickup here. Okay, here's a 4-wire. This is an ESP pickup, okay? So, what we got here, I'm going to wire this will be just a quick way to demonstrate this to you guys. What we're going to do, okay, so what you have here, you have a black and a bare wire on the right-hand side, okay? Then you have white, green, and red. I got the black and the bare wire just coupled together, and this will be you can do this in different ways, but I'm just going to show you what the results will be here, okay? So I'm going to clip it onto the white wire. That gives me 5.81 ohms of resistance. That's not both of them together, obviously, because it would be more, I would think, right? And so we have nothing on the red, nothing on the green, and let me clip that back on, and we have 5.81 on the white wire. So that tells me it's just one pickup on right now, okay? So what I'm going to do is twist the white and green together, and we'll touch them together, okay? So we're still at 5.81, right? Now let's touch it on the red wire. Oh, it looks like it doubled to 11.65, okay? Or thereabouts, you know. This meter's not surgical calibration here. This is pretty cheap. Harbor Freight, under $10, okay? So now what that means is this. This is how to approach this kind of stuff. So we know that when I touch this to the white and green wire, okay, it's running half of the pickup. And then I know if I touch this wire and make, you know, a complete circuit all the way back around, it's both pickups on at the same time. So what that means is this. I could put a wire from here to a small switch, a toggle switch, let's say, and then to this wire. And that would give me a single coil, right? Then I could take another wire and jump across to the red wire and put a small switch in between that. And then when I turn that switch on or off, I would have both coils engaged. So that's how you split a humbucker. And they have to be 4 wires, okay? You can't split a 2-wire pickup. It's just not how it works. All right, so let's check out a couple more here, and I'll show you a couple other little configurations that you guys can buy for pickups if you want. Okay, here's a good one. Now this looks like a single coil, right? They look the same. This is a single coil pickup. This is actually a Seymour Duncan double stacked single coil, which means it's a humbucker. And any way you look at it, they're just not side by side, they're one under the other. So this does have 4 wires. Right now the red and whites are taped off. Let's see what it has for output here, just for the fun of it. So we know this is going to be, oh, I got to get my black wire over here too. And we should be able to get a reading here. Wow. You guys see that? 18.64. That's a smoking hot pickup. And again, you could mount that in the back of your Telecaster. Okay? It looks like a single coil. It's just, you know, it's double stacked. Again, 18.6364. That is a hot pickup. It really is. So, again, there's all kinds of different looks and styles. You just, you know, it's hard to judge a book by its cover sometimes, but it's a pretty heavy pickup too. Okay, now let's talk about a few more different kind of versions of single coils here. Now, all right, this is something I wanted to kind of go over. Now, the pickup on the left is a Fender pickup, okay? It's a USA Fender. And you can see on the bottom it has magnets, right? Those are Alnico magnets. And then this pickup, you can see it has 2 magnet strips, excuse me. These are magnets right here, and they magnetize these steel poles that are rusted. And, you know, that's what picks up the vibrations from the strings. So, in most cases, these cheaper pickups, this is what you find in inexpensive guitars mostly. These are the stuff that you kind of find in good guitars. A lot of times these can have higher outputs than a good pickup. The higher output doesn't mean it's going to sound great. And it doesn't mean it's going to work in that guitar body. There is like trial and error to this too. So, you know, you have to experiment. Here's another version. This has 1 magnet in the middle, which is magnetizing these steel poles. Here's another version. This is a bigger magnet. Are they bad? No. They actually can sound quite remarkable and have tons of bite and sting and power and all that. Sometimes they do not handle high volume well. They tend to squeal and squawk and that kind of thing. Sometimes that's a good thing. You know, it depends on what you're doing with them and what kind of music you're playing and that sort of thing. Here's a different one. This is a humbucker. It's just a 2-wire pickup, and it almost looks like a brake light on my tractor. It's got some sort of weird epoxy filling, but you can see the 2 coils in there, okay? There's 2 bars in there. I'm not sure what this come out of, but I'm going to test it out. I'm going to mod that black Les Paul Jr. copy that I just showed you earlier in the video, and that's why I've dug all these pickups out. I'm going over them. I know what the resistance is in the one that's in the guitar, and I know what it sounds like. It sounds great, but it won't take a lot of volume. It's really microphonic. It's an inexpensive pickup, so I want something that I can, jam with at high volumes and not really have to deal with a ton of feedback. At least be able to control it. I mean, it's to the point where it's uncontrollable at any type of high volume. So, there's different ways to get around that too. You can wax pot them and that kind of thing, but for the money, they're pretty inexpensive to buy now. So I have quite a little collection. I've just kind of accrued over the years. I have another box or two of them somewhere I got to find. But anyway, I just wanted to share this information with you guys. I hope this helps. And maybe it'll help you in your search for pickups and at least know what you're looking at if you see some, for sale at a garage sale or something. And somebody wants a ton of money for them, or they're cheap and they're good pickups. So again, I'm just trying to convey the information along, like this. At first glance, yeah, it's a Seymour Duncan, and I know it's a Telly pickup, but I didn't know it was a humbucker, so there's that whole thing. And this also can be made switchable, so you can, switch from a true single to double coils, because it has 4 wires. So I hope this helps, guys, and I hope I explained that well. Sometimes that can be tricky, and I usually mess this kind of stuff up, but I think I conveyed it as clear as I could. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And best of luck. We'll see you guys real soon. Okie doke.